the official statement coming from the Federal Medical Center in Abuja. Even with the long, more than 10 minutes video, where you can see everything clearly, the nonchalant attitude of the nurses, you can see the victim, the accident victim, in blood. The Federal Medical Center came out and said that they are still investigating the situation. And I feel like, this is what we are used to in the country. Because, of course, the EFCC boss a couple of weeks ago came out to say that, they are investigating Tompolo, but it could be a doctored video, an AI video. And maybe the video that the Good Samaritan made, and the one that showed that the nonchalant attitude of the nurses, why, the victims of the accident were losing their blood, maybe it's also AI, and they need to investigate what is going on. But of course, we have a story in line with that, and we need to understand why, because of course we've talked about it before. We need to understand why it feels like medical personnel sometimes are not acting based on the vow that they made, based on the oath that they took, where they were trying to become professional medical practitioners, and making promises that they are going to save lives regardless of anything in the first place. Because a couple of, I think last year, the federal government has put it out like, whether it is a gunshot wound or is whatever wound, treat the patient first before any other inquiries needs to be made. Save their life first. But of course, the video has been making the rounds, and when you check out the video, you just wonder, how is it that you're a nurse and you are seeing somebody drenching in his own blood, even being brought to the hospital by a good Samaritan, and you're saying that you have no gloves, it's not your duty. I'll try and play the video, but all we can do is, I want us to listen to the audio. You listen to the nurse saying that, it's not my duty. It's not part of my duty. Why the video is also showing the victim in the car losing blood. So these are some of the things we're going to take a look at. Of course, in Abuja yesterday, the president has given the minister of the FCT the go-ahead to continue with whatever it is doing. So I feel like this might just be the beginning for people that are not ardent fans of Yeson Wike. The president's given the go-ahead, and a recommissioning of the rehabilitation of the ICC happened yesterday, and it's gained a lot of reactions because, of course, they didn't only rehabilitate it; they renamed the International Conference Center as the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, and people have been getting reactions. Why would they do this? Why do you have to put his name? It's just rehabilitated now. They didn't just build it as a new one. Of course, we're going to get all of the reactions this morning, but of course, let's get right into the details of the stories that we have on the front page of our national dailies. I'm going to be starting with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And on the Vanguard, it says 2027, PDP leaders divided over Wike's proposition for Southern presidency. Ayodele Fayose says that the party risks becoming a caucus. And the PDP is saying that we are going to respond appropriately. I have the video here, and that video stems from the visit of a former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, when he visited the governor. He said a lot of things, but of course, most importantly, he said that if care is not taken, the People's Democratic Party is going to become a caucus. But the PDP has come out to say that, look, we're going to respond, but not now. And of course, Yeson Wike has also insisted that our agreement in 2023 is to have a presidential candidate from the South. 2027, that is what we are going to do. If there's any chance of reconciliation, that is what we are going to do. And now the PDP, we have two factions. We have the Sheyi Makinde faction, and we have the Yeson Wike faction. And it feels like PDP cannot catch a break right about now. It's always one thing or the other. So yes, that is one of the stories on the front page of the Vanguard. Still on the Vanguard, it says that do not listen to busybodies, bystanders. Tinubu counsels Wike. Do not listen to busybodies and bystanders. Tinubu counsels Wiki. Federal government's plan for fresh $5 billion oil-backed loan hampered by low price. And of course, the one taking the big space on the front of the Vanguard is the continued commission of yet another project in the FCT by Yeson Wike and the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Moving away from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, I am on the Punch newspaper. And on the Punch, it says, Power play. PDP convention caught in Wike Makinde comes crossfire. Power play. PDP convention caught in Wike Makinde comes crossfire. This one says that federal government budget caught federal government budget cut leaves 1,500 health workers without pay. This is one of the stories we're going to be taking a look at, because now we have 1,500 health workers who are not getting paid because the federal government have decided before now to cut the budget when it comes to health workers. Now, we're going to come back to that. But that's all we have on the Punch newspaper, because, of course, the rest of the space, as usual, is occupied by the continued commission of the Maitama Gishiri Bridge, Katampe, Jahi, Mabushe Link Roads today in Abuja. Moving away from the Punch, now we are on the Nigerian Tribune. He says, Yeson Wike renames the ICC after Tinubu. Tinubu tells Wike, do not pay attention to busybodies. President tells the FCT minister, says the usage of the facility is not free. ASU declares no pay, no work. Any month salary is delayed. Okay. ASU declares that no pay, no work. Any month salary is delayed. So when the federal government delays the salary of workers in the Academic Staff Union of Universities, they are not going to work for the next month. SEC orders public companies to release old dividends. Okay. Now we're moving to the Daily Trust newspaper, and on the Daily Trust, it says June 12th, protests against hardship, insecurity to hold in 20 states, says organizers. 96 houses burnt down in Plateau community. ICC commission renamed after Tinubu. Again, truck drivers killed in Imo State. This one says gunmen kill 4 in fresh attack in Benue. Northeast to experience 4-day blackout. Why INEC is yet to conduct by-elections into 7 seats at the National Assembly. Those are the interesting stories on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. Now let's see what we have on the Nation newspaper. Let's see if we have some stories for you on the Nation newspaper. On the Nation newspaper, it says no going back on infrastructure upgrade, says Tinubu. There is no going back on infrastructure upgrade, says President Bola Tinubu. Says National Assembly mulls extension of 2024 budget capital vote. Bill on June 12th, State of the Nation address coming. Okay. And of course, still on the Nation newspaper, Saraki panel meets Makinde on PDP crisis. Saraki panel meets Makinde on PDP crisis. Ugozimba chieftaincy title for First Lady Tinubu in Enugu State. Ugozimba 1 of Enugu State, chieftaincy title for First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in Enugu. Okay, that is what we have on the Nation newspaper. Let's see if we can dig more into the other stories of the newspaper and see if we can. Okay, this one says that Pastor Adeboye visits Alafin Owade in Oyo. Okay, Peter Obi seeks Nigerians support to dismantle APC government in 2027. Peter Obi seeks Nigerian support to dismantle APC government in 2027. This one says that fear grieves residents over minor earth tremor in Oyo community. That is in Igbeti. Of course, the video is trending online. I mean, it seems scary, but the Oyo State government has come out with an official statement saying that there was no casualties and residents have been advised to leave for now, while professionals are trying to understand and assess the situation. Okay, that is on the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Okay, this one says that no prayers can erase 6 million Igbo death. Group tells Go On. Now, this one says that Abuja luxury homes operators worry as EFCC accuses civil servants. Abuja luxury homes operators worry as EFCC accuses civil servants. Of course, the EFCC boss came out with a statement in an interview saying that in Abuja, even civil servants own luxurious homes more than politicians and fraudsters. And he went ahead to say that, even many of those civil servants, when you look at how much they earn, there is no way they should be able to afford the kind of homes that they live in Abuja. And now we have it this morning that operators are having to worry now that the EFCC has accused civil servants. I have the video. I'm going to play the video of the EFCC chairman Olayinka making reference to the fact that they are not only focused on Yahoo boys. As a matter of fact, in Abuja, we have civil servants who cannot afford what they earn, should not be able to allow them afford the kind of homes that they are living in. How did they get that kind of money? Or is it because they are closer to the Federal Capital Territory, so they have access to some kind of funds that are illegal for them to be living in houses like that? But big question about this EFCC boss interview, EFCC chairman interviews. How is it happening? How are they having access to those kind of funds? So yes, kidnappers killed Delta vigilante for trailing them. It's a very sad one. Kidnappers killed Delta vigilante for trailing them. Okay, that's a very sad one. A very sad one. All right, for the last one, let's move on to the Guardian newspaper. And on the Guardian newspaper this morning, it's a lot of headlines on the front page of the Guardian. It says, ignore busybodies, bystanders. Tinubu tells Wike at the reopening of the ICC. Ignore busybodies, bystanders. Tinubu tells Wike at the reopening of the ICC. Plateau State, 58 killed, 31 injured, 15,000 displaced in 6 weeks. 58 killed, 31 injured, 15,000 displaced in 6 weeks. That is on the front page of the Guardian. At some point it just feels like, these figures are just figures now that we read every day. But when you take a look at these numbers, the scary numbers. In 6 weeks, 58 killed, 31 injured, 15,000 displaced in 6 weeks. Okay, this one says that less than 30% public schools have computer labs, ICT savvy pupils. Less than 30% public schools have computer labs, ICT savvy pupils. But now WAEC and NECO and JAMB are going the ICT way. Are these pupils going to be able to cope with writing exams with the information, the ICT? Are they going to cope? Because now we have less than 30% public schools having computer labs. Are they going to get familiar with how to use a computer? And, there's a difference between knowing how to use a computer and how to write an examination on a computer. It's a different feeling, if you know what I mean. If you've written an examination on a computer before, is a different feeling. You need to be calm, you need to be collected, you need to be familiar. Because if a computer is put in front of you and it is a do or die examination, you know how much the examination means to you. You dare not panic. The moment you start panicking, even the simplest of questions, you're going to get it wrong. And it's not even about writing examination. When you are done with examination, because I've written a lot of examination on a computer, some even forget to submit their papers on the computer because they are already overwhelmed. Sitting 1 hour, 30 minutes in front of a computer, answering questions, doing brainstorming. After all of that, some people even forget to submit. So how are we going to achieve this? Because obviously, the Minister of Education, along with the directors of WAEC and NECO, have come out to say that, look, the November-December examination, they are going to, it's going to be ICT based. They are working towards making it a reality. So how are we going to make sure that, when the result comes out, it doesn't reflect mass failure? We don't try to picture the fact that, this is the student's fault. They didn't prepare well for the examination. How about to focus on them getting familiar, getting accustomed to the use of computers? Okay, still on the Guardian newspaper, it says, days of electoral impunity over, Peter Obi declares. This one says that Senate to change presidential inauguration venue, mandate June 12th address. Yes, the Senate has been trying to, move a lot of things away from the Eagle Square now, trying to put it, it's joint National Assembly. But of course, there's been reactions about that too. This one says that 150,000 cases of babies born with sickle cell disease yearly in Nigeria. 150,000 cases of babies born with sickle cell disease yearly in Nigeria. I was having a discussion with my manager. It feels like, we are starting to forget how important it is to have information about our genotype, our blood group. I mean, for the sake of the coming generation, there is no love greater than checking your blood group and your genotype. It is very important. There was a video of a father trying to get into, a supermarket while he was carrying, his baby, and the baby looked, special. Let me use that word, and he was not allowed into the supermarket. And there was a lot of reactions. Why would they not allow him? Is he not carrying a child? Is he not just a baby? This and that. As much as we want to talk about these things, I feel like it is very important for us to note too that it is our job before we start making babies. It is our job as parents. Oh, okay, it is God that makes babies. This and that. But at the same time, as spiritual as we want to be, we have our own responsibilities. There is nothing God cannot do. But at the same time, He has given us the chance, the opportunity to make choices. And that includes the process of before making babies. It is very important, and that is why churches mandate it. You have to go and check, regardless of how deep your love is. If you are not genetically, how do I put it now? You're not supposed to be together genetically. Please, it is better for you to, it is a whole different level for you to be attending to a sick child. It is something that is going to test you, and at some point you start questioning yourself, why did I do this? Sorry, it's one of the headlines on the front page of the Guardian, but of course, the headline says that 150,000 cases of babies born with sickle cell disease yearly in Nigeria. So of course, we're going to go on a commercial break right now. We're going to pay a bill, and when we come back, we're going to get into details. We have interesting details. We have interesting videos this morning. Ayodele Fayose saying that if PDP is not careful, it's going to turn into a carcass. We know what a carcass means. It means like, a dead body that vultures are waiting on to feed on. The president has told the minister of the FCT, do not pay attention to busybodies and bystanders. We're going to play the video of some, and a little bit of dance yesterday. And of course, the FMC, Federal Medical Center in Abuja, has come out to say that the accident victims in viral video have been treated and discharged. But that is not the case. The case is what happened in that video. We thank God that no life was lost. But what happened prior to treating that victim or those victims? What is inside of that video? And the best that the Federal Medical Center could do is tell Nigerians. It just feels like, every day, they're trying to play on our intelligence. That they are still investigating what everybody saw in a long video, more than 5-minute video. They are still investigating. In the video, one of the nurses was saying that I don't have gloves. Now, the Federal Medical Center in Abuja came out to say that there was no shortage of gloves or medical supplies. But the nurse in the video, while the victim was in the car, was saying that I don't have gloves. It's not my duty to carry the victim from the and the Federal Medical Center came out and said there was no shortage of gloves. There was no shortage of medical supplies. There was no shortage of stretchers to bring in victims in the emergency. And there was no, it was not a case of too many people in the emergency, space. And now they are coming out to say that investigations is still ongoing. And you ask yourself, what investigation are they still doing? But of course, we're in Nigeria. The video might just be AI doctored. It might just be, it might not be a real video. So let's go through that route this morning. And of course, ASU has come out to say that, whenever there is delayed salaries, there is now a no pay, no work. If you don't pay us, we're not going to work. Educational system. Now we have the medical institutions, the health sector. Now we have the education sector now. And of course, I have a video about the EFCC boss claiming that civil servants in Abuja, the kind of houses that they stay in, there is no way they should be able to afford those kind of houses. And we ask the question, how is this even possible? We'll go to pay a bill. We're going to be right back after this commercial break. Stick around. It is still the Dailies Review on Infogiant 97.1 FM. I'll be right back.
Hey you, are you looking for where to enjoy yourself and your loved ones? Are you looking for where to order or buy pizza? Real Pizza is the home of pizza, where you can get pizza, ice cream, barbecue, chicken and chips, sweets, and lots more. Oh yeah, now, no need to worry yourself anymore. Real Pizza have different types, different size with their price. Chicken pizza, small 5,300, medium 6,600, large 8,000 naira, extra large 11,000 naira. Sausage pizza, small 5,100, medium 6,400, large 7,900, extra large 10,000 naira. Special pizza, small 8,400, medium 9,200, large 10,500, extra large 13,500 naira. They also have bar, cinema, and lounge. Real Pizza is beside OUI at OUI filling station, Ipetumodo roundabout. They open 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Mondays and Saturdays, but they open 12 noon on Sundays. You can pre-order on their WhatsApp line 081-2034-3967, and they will also deliver to your doorstep. Real Pizza, enjoy finger linking meal.
Oduduwa University, Ipetumodu, PNB 5533, Ile-Ife, a federal government licensed university. Admissions into full-time, part-time degrees and postgraduate degrees are now on. Report for screening this Thursday at 12 p.m. at Oduduwa University, Ipetumodu, PNB 5533, Ile-Ife. Telephone 080 56 56 56 56 or Oduduwa Polytechnic 213 Egbeda Idimu Road, Idimu, Lagos. Telephone 080 58 55 55 58 or Better Foundation Plaza, Plot 359, B2 Ukiwe Street, Jabi, Abuja. Telephone 080 56 56 56 56. Oduduwa University, yes, committed to qualitative education.
33 minutes going to pass 8:24 to 97.1 FM, and we are back for the second half of the Dailies Review on your Delight radio station. Of course, need I forget, we're streaming live on Facebook, so you can go drop your comment on any of the headlines that it's getting your attention, because sometimes it's easier for you to express yourself while you are typing than having to call, because you have to manage your airtime. But of course, when you're texting, you have a lot to say. So I'd like to get your attention. I'd like to get your perspective, your opinion on which of the headlines gets your attention. We're streaming live on Facebook. All you need to do is go to your Facebook page and search for Infogiant 97.1 FM. Drop your comments, like the Facebook Live and share as much as you can. And just in case you want to, tell someone, who is not in Osun State right now, to have a listen to every of our programs, all you need to do is tell them to visit our website www.infogiantfm971.com. www.infogiantfm971.com. You listen to us on the go, regardless of whatever it is that you are in the country, in the world. You're going to be listening to us live, and it is very, very clear. So yes, we have the headlines already. We're going to get into details of the stories that we have. The studio lines are open 08126728417. But hey, let's listen to what the president has to say at the recommissioning of the rehabilitated Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center and his advice to the Minister of the FCT. Let's have a listen.
And I'm glad in this week you are reflecting that don't pay attention to the busybody and the bystanders. Whatever they say, continue with your good work. You are a transformational leader. You have the foresight, the vision, and determination to succeed. Thank you very, very much. When I attended the conference of ECOWAS Parliament here,
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has urged the Minister of the FCT, Yeson Wike, to ignore busybodies and naysayers distracting him from his work. The president stated this during the inauguration ceremony of the rehabilitated International Conference Center in Abuja on Tuesday. Speaking at the event, Wike praised the President Tinubu for showing leadership by giving him a marching order to rehabilitate the center. The minister added that he received pressure about the project from some people whose names he didn't mention. In his speech, President Tinubu said the center's rehabilitation is part of his administration's effort to change the way we do things and reflect us as people of quality and people of character. Of course, the minister of the FCT has something to say, and he said that whether you're a ministry or an agency, if you're going to be making use of the ICC center, you would have to pay. There is no my brother, my sister. So let's have a listen to this one from the Minister of the FCT.
And I appeal, Mr. President, because I know pressure will come. How do we sustain this? I want to let everybody know. Whether you're a ministry, whether an agency, you want to use this, you have to pay something. You have to pay. That's the only way it can be sustained. Nothing like my brother, my sister is going to have wedding. If you want to use a place like this, such a beautiful place, then you must drop something.
Yes, the Minister of FCT has said that, yes, you must drop something. And of course, it feels like, Yeson Wike is the man of the hour right about now, because everything he's saying, the president is saying, you know what? Go ahead. Because, of course, the president gave a reply to that demand from Yeson Wike.
Our Nigerian first. I thank all of you. Eugene Abu, I thank you too. For being a reflection of quality in media space. Thank you very much. Today, I say once again to all of you, Baraka de Salah. And you must obey what the landlord says. You want to use this place? You got to pay for it.
If you want to use this place, you gotta pay for it. So yes, that is the breaking news right about now. Because yes, on Wiki it feels like every of his requests, is getting granted by the president. Let's move on from that story. But of course, like I said, the studio lines are open 0812 672 8417. We're going to talk about the 2027 PDP situation. And now the PDP leaders are divided over Wiki's proposition for Southern presidency. Yes, there was a statement, or there is a statement from the former governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Ayodele Fayoshe. He has restated his unflinching loyalty to the PDP, declaring that he has no intention of defecting to the All Progressive Congress. He visited the president and, of course, he's made a statement, before now. And yes, Wiki is insisting, look, if we're going to have anything when it comes to reconciliation, the presidency must be zoned. The presidential candidate of the PDP must be zoned to the south. Now, this is what Mr. Ayodele Fayoshe has to say about the PDP. What do you think about the statement? Because when the leaders of the People's Democratic Party are coming out to make statements like this, does it mean that the PDP is not in a good place and is not heading towards a good place? Because like I said before, now we have the Wike faction and we have the Seyi Makinde faction. Because let's not forget that, of course, Seyi Makinde went out of his way to give support to the current president, despite the fact that he's an APC aspirant back then in 2023 general elections. Yes, and Wike also played his part by making sure that votes from River State, was in favor of the current president and the current administration. Let's have a listen to what Mr. Ayodele Fayoshe, Oshokomale, as the Ekiti people will call him, has to say. The studio lines are open 0812 672 8417. 0812 672 8417.
Your visit?
Well, my visit is personal to further encourage him to continue to do what he's doing for Nigerians. No one is saying it is easy, but there's no miracle that can turn around things overnight. But for the little the president has done, we must commend him. I was one time critic of the last administration, but you cannot compare the situation now. So for me, I'm here, one, to take the opportunity of his homecoming to visit him and to encourage him to do more for Nigerians.
Your Excellency, we know you quite well of the other party, and this is another party ruling, but you so much have trust and hope in this man. Why that?
Well, even while I was in office as a PDP governor, sitting governor, I've always believed in his leadership. And I did not hide my support for him, even before he became the president. And the only thing we can do as leaders of this country today is to continue to encourage him to lift up his hands, to make the public understand how uneasy it is to lead an economy that is down and today is being stabilized. You see, there's a difference between things changing outrightly. There's no miracle. But stabilizing the economy, stabilizing the currency, and few courageous steps the president has taken and the achievement of his administrations put hopes in tomorrow for all of us.
Your Excellency, we have seen recently movements, inter-party movements,
yes,
particularly from your party to the ruling party. How do you react to this?
Well, let me first of all clear this. Ayo Fayoshi will not move from PDP to any political party, not even APC. I am this year 65 years. It's within the choices of those who have chosen to move. Some said they saw what the president is doing. Some said they believe that the party is in trouble. And without doubt, the PDP is in trouble. And that's the gospel truth. And I believe that if they don't quickly take steps, the party in itself will become carcass. That is the truth.
If they don't deal with this as soon as possible, the party itself will become a carcass. 08126728417. Those are the words coming out of a former governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Ayodele Fayose Dioshokomale. And it's come out to say that, look, Ayodele Fayose is not moving away from the PDP. But if the PDP do not deal with this as quickly as possible, it is very, very possible that, PDP is going to become a thing of the past. What do you think about these statements? 08126728417. Of course, let's take a look at what is going on in Abuja, because apparently the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Olayinka, says many corruption cases involving politicians are difficult to prosecute because they are often carried out in collusion with civil servants. I'll give you this video, but of course, before that, let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, and
Yeah,
how are you doing?
Yeah, thank you very much for asking. I'm good.
Yeah, cool morning.
Yeah.
Like what you are saying about the FMC, the victim, the accident victim. Since I have always said this, that things like this happen and people get away with it because there is no justice in this country, absence of justice. You find out that the nurses or whoever is involved in saving lives might not even will not receive the punishment to give, because for every offense there should be a punishment that will be meted out of it. And you even see that at times now, if eventually the person gives up, they will say that that's how God wants it. Some people who just talk anyhow, God, they will attribute God to evil. I don't know why. God is not an evil God. So it's very, very sad, very, very bad. It's such an emergency that should be attended to, even along the way. That then you bring the person to the hospital and he's not getting the prompt action. I've seen something happen like that before when we went for a conference at Abuja, one of the universities in Abuja. Is a government university. The victim was brought out, and in fact, we tried to go and help the victim, to the emergency ward, because every people we are just looking, and the woman would have died if not for the prompt action. Then again, the organized people that were talking about 6 million people that died during the Civil War. 2 days ago, we talked about Gowon, and Gowon, whatever happens, God will never forgive him because he is the cause of that war. He made in the agreement at Abuja, coming back to his advisors deceived him. What he now came to do was to fragment Igbos, scatter them in 13 states of the country. We thought that Igbos will not come together to do it. People pride will remain simple. There is no. If I tell you, some of us are not going to the war that time, but we had the experience of what happened to the war. Let me tell you, as we going along the road, you see small children falling aside, dying because their parents can no longer carry them. So in short, it's not something to recall. He will suffer. I pray he will continue to be alive to see what he has done. Look at what is happening in Israel. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Ibe. We have a comment on Facebook. That is from Mr. Akinola Fatoye. He says that the FCT minister's idea is good concerning that premises. If he wants to use that place, you must pay. One of the best idea to generate revenue. Good morning, Mr. Yinka. Good morning to you, Mr. Fatayi. We're still taking your calls. 0812-672-8417. Mr. Emmanuel says, good morning. Good morning to you, too. Let's go to our Facebook page and drop comments on which of the headlines is getting your attention this morning. But we have a case of, an eye-opening revelation from the chairman of the EFCC, saying that most high-end properties in Asokoro and Maitama are owned by civil servants, saying that the EFCC has evidence to prove that. And in essence, he's trying to say that most of these civil servants should not in any way be able to afford these properties. Now, he also dismissed critics, saying that, they're only going about, chasing Yahoo Yahoo boys and all of the lies. And it's come out to say that, look, we go where the evidence leads us. Now, let us listen to what the EFCC boss has to say about most luxury homes in Abuja being occupied by civil servants. Why some people are saying that the money is not enough for civil servants. Some civil servants are enjoying staying in luxurious homes. How are they able to afford it? Hello, good morning.
Hello, yeah, good morning.
Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Comrade Deji speaking from Ife.
Comrade Deji, it's been a minute. It's good to have you back on the program.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
Good morning. Yeah.
I just want to quickly talk about this issue of PDP, talking about PDP, and you see, it's just like people who hate being told truth. The truth of the matter is, as of today, that PDP. They might reconcile tomorrow. They might rearrange their houses tomorrow. As of today,
this morning, we don't have PDP.
Yeah. Let me tell you the truth. The truth of the matter is this: if it continues like this, they will end up not having a candidate in Osun State, and because there is nobody that will sign their nomination form. The same thing that happened in Anambra. Today they do not have candidate in Anambra governorship election.
Yes.
Same thing, and that is the reason why this Akwa governor left a job and said that there is no headquarters in Abuja again. Nobody is going to sign our nomination form, and I don't want to end up in losing my candidacy in the court. Why do you think Adeleke is running let us scatter? I think they have a good house and good platform to run. Adeleke is doing very well in Osun State.
Yes.
If I thought it's being run by proxy, maybe some people are advising him. He's a listening governor and he's being very good. So he has something to campaign with. But who is going to sign his nomination form? And which other platform is very popular to run on other than APC? Is he going to go to Labour Party that doesn't have a unit? I get it. So the truth of the matter is they are becoming a carcass party. Like Jando said, he said it's just like Oroki Social Club.
Wow.
I get it. So we just have to tell ourselves the truth. The earlier they understand, the better. I get it. So God bless Nigeria, my brother.
Thank you very much, Comrade Deji. It's good to have you on the program. 08126728417. Like I said, you can join us on Facebook because we want to have you text, of course, responsibly. Your opinions. It is sometimes easier to text. I'm going to read out your messages as much as I can. We are streaming live on Facebook. But of course, there is a case of civil servants and the kind of luxurious homes that is saying in Abuja now. Let's have a listen to what Ola Olukoyede came out to talk about. That people are not paying attention to these, but it is happening. Let's have a listen to what he has to say about this situation.
There's no doubt in the fact that we have corruption in our public service structure. That's total. But I tell you also, the private sector is also as bad as the public sector from the PMCO work that we have done. But coming to public service, and that's where, when I was addressing the issue of cybercrime, maybe I still want us to talk about that. This issue of attacking the FCC that we are just doing Yahoo. I still want us to address that. But coming to your question, we discovered that it is extremely difficult for political class to steal money without the connivance of, from our own point of view, we call them establishment people. They are always there. Political appointees will come and go. These guys are always there. And I give you an example, a typical example. We investigated a particular ministry. The minister there, and we are prosecuting him. We discovered that about 33.something billion was stolen. Only 3.something billion were able to trace to the minister. The remaining 30, the director of finance, director of procurement, director of this, director of that, the establishment people. And so when you look at the amount of the money stolen by establishment people, it's much more than the money scattered. And that is the truth. That's the truth.
Don't
Nigerians
you
will
think the
realize
minister
that.
just kept the money with them?
No, if we trace money to people and they use it to buy house in their name, and we discover the money in the accounts of their children and their cronies, and in the course of making statements, they didn't deny that the money belongs to them. If they had mentioned the name of the minister in the course of making statements, they would have said, okay, they were just accessories, either to or after the fact. But when they hold up, the moment you catch them, you do your diligent investigation, documentary evidence, it will be difficult for people to deny.
So minister had just
three out of 33 point something billion. It was only 3 that we something we trade to the minister. The other, look, the statistics have shown, because we carry out survey on the real estate in Abuja, that most houses in Asokoro and Itama are owned by civil servants.
Most luxurious houses in Maitama and Asokoro are owned by civil servants. An investigation that was carried out showed that out of a 33 billion naira mismanaged funds, only 3 billion naira, went 3 billion naira went to a minister. The rest of the 30 billion naira was spread across the civil servants working with the minister. So now the question is, do you agree with the EFCC boss? Is there a need to shift the focus? Because he talked about the fact that ministers are going to come and go, but these civil servants, for 35 years, they are there to help work with you whatever it is that you want. And it's come out to say that we have civil servants that are living in luxurious homes, that are way above their pay grade. 0812-672-8417. Do you agree with the EFCC boss? Should we be shifting focus towards exposing public corrupt servants? Let us share our thoughts. 0812-672-8417. Because of course, why people are having to say that, look, this 70,000 naira is not enough. Civil servants are not being taken care of. The minimum wage, we have some public servants that are, at the end of the day, enjoying, low-key enjoying, whatever it is being put out. So yes, let's see if we can get one more call before we sign out of the show this morning. 0812-672-8417. 0812-672-8417. Okay, we have one last call before we sign off the program this morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Inga.
Yeah, good morning.
Concerning the EFCC boss, do you think governor or president can just steal any money without the consent of all this permanent secretary or whatever? They are the most. That's why most of the time when we are visiting all this our governor or our president, they are not because all these so-called permanent secretary or this, they are the one that will see, this is how we do for so person. You can do this, you can do this. They will give the idea, they are the one. So the devil we are fearing in Nigeria are the same civil servant. And civil servant pass civil servant too. There's someone who doesn't know anything, who don't know, they are just there. But there are some chronic devil living with us. So that's just it. Concerning the fire has said it all.
Wow.
No PDP. according to that, my brother, the other time, he said, maybe today they can put their house in order. But don't forget about anything called PDP exists.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fatoye, for that contribution. Every of our callers this morning, two of our callers have agreed that as at this morning, there is nothing like a PDP. And they are agreeing with what the former governor for your Ekiti State, Mr. Ayodele Fayose, has said. If care is not taken, the party is going to go into extinction. Well, it's been a wonderful time this morning, but of course, some of the headlines we've not been able to touch. Please, we're going to make it a topic where we'll get to discourse about these things, because of course, we don't like to make it about politics always. We like to talk about the things that are going on, societal issues. It's been an amazing time. Appreciation to everyone who has taken out of their precious time again to listen to us this morning. Like I said, you can go drop your comments even after we've left the Facebook Live. We're going to read out when we come back tomorrow. On Facebook, Infogiant 97.1 FM. A special appreciation to Mr. Olayinka Israel, Mr. Akinola Fatoye, Comrade Deji, Mr. Emmanuel Male, Mr. Akinloye, Ayodele, watching us live on Facebook. Comrade Deji, also it's good to have you back on the show this morning. We're going to be back tomorrow with more interesting stories, because of course, this is Nigeria, and Nigeria is like a country that, it's like Father Christmas. They have so much gifts to give us. We can't talk about it enough, because of our limited time. My name is Olayinka Popoola. I'm going to be back tomorrow. Keep listening to Infogiant 97.1 FM. Up next is the Yoruba version of the Tinoto De Heroine, the newspaper review, the Yoruba version of the newspaper review. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Have fun. A very good morning to you.